make sure that you're building your ASIN with complete data. That means country of origin. That means shipping weight, shipping size dimensions, product size dimensions. And so if those data fields are skipped, it does two things. Number one, you're probably eventually gonna have a suppression on that ASIN, but it also can allow a 3P to slide in the back end on that listing and make changes, because what the 3P could do is come in if you don't have country of origin, and they do, they can kind of sneak in there and update your data because a field is missing that was supposed to be there, that was required. So we really want to have complete information. And then it's our policy to try and load new ASINs complete from the start with an optimized title, bullet points, description, image stack, because it's becoming harder and harder to go back and make those updates. And so it's just better to start out an ASIN complete from the beginning than just throwing some data in there and then going back a week or two later and then trying to update it. Because as I've mentioned, it's really becoming difficult. Amazon's system is retaining onto data more than ever.
Yeah, especially with a lot of these changes coming probably around the summertime on like looking at how Amazon's going to, how people are going to find your products and how Amazon's going to kind of use their algorithm to kind of present your products to people based on what they're looking for. Now more than ever, data and how the customer perceives your product is super important on Amazon. So yeah, we don't want to run into any errors with that. And again, especially with these new changes approaching, more to come on that from Velocity sellers. But sticking with the topic today of the errors. So, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Like getting everything set up is crucial. Like I kind of mentioned with your account, you kind of maybe want to have your ducks in a row, as long as you're not being rushed by anybody. But okay, let's say we have the listings created. Let's say we're brand registered and the account's open and a partridge in a pear tree. Let's say you're creating the listings, right? You upload your bullet points and your images. What are some errors that we can find when we do that? I know there's some things that obviously you can't make claims about on Amazon, and maybe some of the images aren't going to be accepted by Amazon, especially for like looking at the main image. Like Lisa, what do we see, disease claim wise, and any prohibited kind of claims can we not make on Amazon?
Yeah. So regarding images, the minimum is 1,000 by 1,000. However, that's not great for zoomability. So we want to make sure that we like to do around 2,000 by 2,000, but you want to have an image that is zoomable. It needs to be on a white background, pure white, bright white. And if you have parts, or maybe there's more than one item that is in that main image, we like to overlay. So for example, if you had a toothbrush and toothpaste and they were sold together, we try to overlay those two products so that it doesn't get rejected, because it can see that secondary product like in the background. So some images are really, really important, especially the main image. And then as far as claims, so Amazon's AI can read not only written words, but it can, from what we understand and see, also read images and A+. And so if you have a claim in your images, like this will prevent a disease, it can be rejected and your whole listing can get suppressed, even if the claim is in an image. So just be aware of that. And then there's all types of claims that we could make about our products that are inaccurate. And so we always want to just be very conservative when we're saying, this can heal something or cure something. So it makes you feel better. It cures depression. One time I saw a weighted blanket, actually going back to the weighted blanket, where they said that it can, make you feel better and helps with depression. And that's not really what a blanket can do. So we just need to be really careful. And I'm sure Eric has some other examples.
makes my way to like it makes me feel better. That's all I'm gonna say. But obviously, for Amazon, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eric, yeah, do you have anything like?
Yeah, the Lisa kind of hit most of them, but like make sure that your image is the right size. If it's too small, it's going to get rejected. Be careful of what's in your images, even if you're selling like adult products or products that deal with guns and things. You have to be careful of what you're showing. Like you can't just have fill in the blank, right? You can't just like have inappropriate images. So be careful there. Wild marketing claims, like this is the best product ever. Like you can't really say that. Amazon will kind of shut you down there a little bit. If you do have, I guess I'm just kind of repeating exactly what Lisa said. So there's not, she did a really good job. She covered most of the things. But yeah, there's like, if we move into the other kind of areas, of the listing, titles, if you go over character limit, bullets, if you go over character limit, each category will have a character limit. And then it works the same way. If you have, crazy marketing claims or disease cure claims or anything like that, it's the same kind of thing. Your listing will get taken down. You might get reclassified incorrectly if you have the wrong verbiage on the listing too. That can always that's
into a new category.
Thing. Yeah, I mean, like if you're doing
really,
yeah.
I don't know. Let's say I got a client that sells, their title is kitchen sink handlebars for bikes, right? Amazon scans it and sees kitchen sink. Now you're in the kitchen category. They don't understand that it's for bikes, so they move you. So you got to be kind of mindful of that. Be careful of that. I have lots of stories on that. Even.
Wow.
So even in your R&D stages, if you're just an Amazon seller and you're trying to grow your brand or whatever, and you're creating new products, keep that in mind. I mean, if you do, want to change your product's name to, outside of your niche or, in this case, kitchen sink, it's just like a very utility handlebar. It's a great handlebar. It's a great product. It's just, unfortunately, Amazon will scrape it, grab that kitchen sink and move it to the wrong category. And then you got category fights and things like that. So,
so how do you fix that for this partner? How do you put him back in the outdoor sports category?
Cases. And then you just got to get the right person on the phone to show them the listing. And then they go, oh, I understand. And then they fix it for you. But normally
we're going to get into the Amazon help desk. And I won't say my joke that I have about it. But I definitely want to get into opening cases and kind of going about how, or going over how you can find the right person to kind of give you what you need based on how you phrase the case. But that's for later in the episodes. Stay tuned.
But I guess, I mean, it's kind of what Lisa's kind of saying too, though. So like, if your brand name's different from your trademark, you have images. So like it all kind of has to work together. If you have some, like maybe some claims, you want to make sure that you have those claims in your imagery, like if going into A+, we had an issue a long time ago. If you make a claim, the A+ might get rejected, but then if you add like, trying to think of like, like a scientific study was performed, and then you just say the name of the study and the date, that usually fixed that problem. I haven't really had many of those recently. I don't know, Lisa, are you up to speed on any of the A+ issues like that? I haven't had one in a while.
For sure. So, anytime that you say that it was like tested or certified, we have a lot of rejections because we say we're biodegradable or environmental claims. And so you have to watch out, because then you're going to say they're going to want you to prove that you are really biodegradable. So another thing that happens with A+, it's really frustrating, is if your ASIN isn't connected to your brand correctly, you can't publish that A+. And there's this back end node that exists that we can't see. And so sometimes you'll get that it's rejected, and you just have to go back in to fix that node. So that's a case. You'll have to create a case to get that node attached to your brand. So you got to keep an eye on that as well.
Hey,
yeah,
Lisa,
very interesting. Well, I'm
sorry to cut you off there, Pete. Lisa, have you had? I haven't got a lot of experience on it, but I know that new image, the new image uploader on Amazon, is that Has that been helpful with that kind of situation where it's like not connected to the brand, or it has some, like, instead of going to the back end of your listing, you can go to the image uploader, and I think it does show what's wrong with the problem, or if you have a problem. Like if your listing's suppressed because of imagery, I think it gives a good explanation. But like I haven't recently had any issues there, so I'm just kind of, Lisa, have you seen anything like that?
That tool is amazing. It actually provides a lot of clarity where there was once no clarity. So that so it's under the catalog tab, and you can also see if your brand registry badge is there. So if your badge is missing when you look up your ASIN, then you know you have a node problem or it's not attached to your brand correctly. And then it also gives a lot of information if your images are rejected.